Hello, classmates. This is the demo version of this. I'll probably have a visual, uh, like webcam. Actually, I don't know. I think it might convolute it. I'm not sure, but it's going to go through this and reevaluate by Sunday. Hello, my name is Michael Mitchell. Welcome to my MSHR 645 final presentation on the proposed HR dashboard for Rogers State University Graduate Studies. In this presentation, I'll show how a data-driven HR dashboard can support our Graduate Studies Department in tracking and improving recruitment, retention, engagement, and enrollment. I'll begin with the overall purpose and guiding hypothesis behind the dashboard. This slide sets the foundation for this project. The purpose of this HR dashboard is to build on previous analyses of graduate student attrition in Department of Graduate Studies here at Rogers State University. The design is guided by a stream-aligned hypothesis. If RSU implements engagement and support initiatives consistently over a 12-month period, graduate student retention will improve by at least 10%, given satisfaction and academic connection will increase. The dashboard provides a structured framework to evaluate progress and communicate results to leadership. Ultimately, this presentation represents the culmination of the HR analytics process, from identifying the business problem to developing actionable, data-informed strategies for improving graduate student outcomes. I introduce the overall framework for the HR dashboard, which is organized into 4 key focus areas of the dashboard: recruitment, retention, engagement, and enrollment. Together, they represent the full student life cycle from initial outreach to program completion. Each category includes key performance metrics that provide actionable insights to improve efficiency, student satisfaction, and overall program outcomes. Tracking these consistently allows graduate studies leadership to make data-informed adjustments in both strategic and operational areas. The slide focuses on the first quadrant of the HR dashboard, recruitment metrics. The primary purpose of this quadrant is to evaluate how effective our outreach, marketing, and admission processes are at converting interest into enrollment. The key metric here is the recruitment yield ratio, calculated by dividing the number of hires, in this departmental context, new graduate students, by the number of applicants, then multiplying by 100. This allows us to see how efficiently our recruitment activities are performing. Data for this metric is drawn from Zanzibar JRM and Salesforce, which track every step from inquiry through admission. These systems make it possible to identify which recruitment sources and strategies are most effective, such as graduate fairs, career fairs, partnerships with local employers, or digital outreach campaigns. Tracking these metrics on a semester basis enables the graduate studies team to allocate resources more strategically and improve return on investment in future recruitment cycles. This slide highlights the second quadrant of the HR dashboard, retention metrics. The key purpose here is to monitor semester to semester persistence among graduate students and to determine whether our advising and engagement strategies are driving improvement. The main metric is the retention rate, which is calculated by dividing the number of continuing graduate students by the total number from the previous semester and multiplying by 100. This measure provides a clear indication of how well RSU is retaining students from one term to the next. Data for this metric comes from Zanzibar JRM and the National Student Clearinghouse, both of which allow accurate tracking of enrollment continuity and degree progress. The goal is a 10% improvement in retention over 12 months, aligning with our stream-guided hypothesis and engagement initiative. Presented here is the third quadrant of the HR dashboard, which focuses on engagement metrics. Engagement represents the people side of student success, the sense of belonging, support, and connection that drives persistence in our graduate programs. The engagement index shown here is a composite score drawn from participating in advising sessions, workshops, mentoring, and survey response rates. Together, these indicators tell us how actively students are engaging with the university community and available resources. Data for these metrics come from Zanzibar JRM, Salesforce, and internal pulse surveys, giving us both qualitative and quantitative insight into student experiences. Results are reviewed each semester, while qualitative findings are discussed quarterly to adjust programming or outreach in real time. Research from the Council for Community and College Student Engagement reinforces this connection, noting that student learning, persistence, and attainment are strongly associated with engagement. This supports our stream-aligned hypothesis and demonstrates why engagement must remain a core metric in the HR dashboard. This slide presents the fourth and final quadrant of the HR dashboard, which focuses on enrollment metrics. Enrollment data provides a holistic view of graduate program performance, reflecting both recruitment success and student retention. The key metric shown here is the enrollment change rate, calculated by dividing the difference between the current term's enrollment and the previous term's enrollment by the previous term's total, then multiplying by 100. This allows us to measure term-over-term growth or decline in graduate headcount and student credit hours. Data for these measures come directly from Genzibar JRM, RSU Institutional Research, and internal graduate studies reports. These sources ensure consistent tracking of enrollment trends for both fall and spring terms. The purpose of this metric is to provide leadership with clear visibility into enrollment fluctuations. By reviewing this data each academic term, we can identify where declines are occurring and connect those findings to specific factors in recruitment or retention. For example, as we'll see on the next slide, recent data shows an overall decline in both headcount and student credit hours from fall 2024 to fall 2025, and again from spring 2025 to spring 2026. Understanding these patterns helps the graduate studies team prioritize targeted outreach and advising interventions. This slide visualizes the graduate enrollment trends discussed on the previous slide. The navy bars represent graduate headcount, and the red bars represent the total student credit hours, or SCH. When we compare terms, we continue to see modest declines. From fall 2024 to fall 2025, graduate headcount decreased from 55 to 46 students, a drop of about 16%, and SCH fell from 588 to 463, or about 21%. In the spring term, headcount decreased slightly from 59 to 58 students, or about 2%, while SCH fell from 648 to 544, representing roughly a 16% decline. Although these changes indicate a continued downward trend, the spring figures are preliminary pacing data as of November 5th, 2025. These totals will rise as registration continues through December and January. Because SCH reflects total instructional activity, even small shifts affect tuition revenue and faculty workload distribution. Tracking these metrics each term through the HR dashboard allows graduate studies leadership to identify trends early, cross-reference them with engagement and advising data, and take timely action to stabilize enrollment. The data continues to reinforce our broader hypothesis that consistent engagement and support initiatives will positively influence graduate retention and overall enrollment health. This chart shows graduate headcount trends from fall 2024 through spring 2026, including the most recent pacing data for spring 2026 as of November 5th, 2025. Graduate headcount declined from 55 students in fall 2024 to 46 in fall 2025, and from 59 students in spring 2025 to 58 students currently enrolled for spring 2026. While this represents a small decrease of about 1.7%, it is important to note that these are preliminary figures that continue to rise as registration progresses through December and early January. This early pacing data functions as a leading indicator, allowing the graduate studies team to identify shortfalls early and intensify engagement, advising, and outreach before the semester begins. The trend underscores the importance of consistent student connection and retention efforts, key goals that the HR dashboard is designed to support. Overall, this slide emphasizes that early visibility into enrollment data enables proactive decision-making, helping graduate studies leadership sustain momentum and align resources to meet institutional goals. This slide specifically focuses on graduate student credit hours, or SCH, which represent the total instructional activity generated by students enrolled in our graduate program. As of November 5th, 2025, the current pacing for spring 2026 stands at 544 SCH, compared to 648 at the same point last year. This represents roughly a 16% decrease. While this early pacing is lower than spring 2025, it is consistent with typical registration patterns. Many graduate students enroll closer to the semester start as they finalize advising, employer tuition reimbursements, or financial aid. Our institutional goal for spring 2026 is 1,476 SCH, so this figure represents approximately 37% of the goal. Tracking SCH alongside headcount provides a deeper understanding of not only how many students are enrolling, but also how many credit hours they are taking. Together, these indicators help the graduate studies team connect people metrics to workload, tuition revenue, and instructional planning. This slide explains why implementing an HR dashboard is essential for the Department of Graduate Studies. By centralizing recruitment, retention, engagement, and enrollment data, the dashboard provides a comprehensive, evidence-based system for evaluating program performance and student outcomes. Integrating data from Zanzibar JRM, Salesforce, and institutional research ensures decisions are consistent, accurate, and timely. According to Jay from the Academy to Innovate HR, the value of engagement analytics lies in translating data into action by connecting survey insights and behavioral trends to measurable outcomes such as retention and satisfaction. This supports the way our dashboard uses engagement and enrollment data together to drive improvement. Further, Waters et al. Emphasize that HR analytics should inform, transform, and empower decisions, while CCSE demonstrates that engagement directly influences persistence in higher education. Together, these sources highlight how RSU's HR dashboard will promote data-informed leadership, enhance accountability, and strengthen both student and institutional performance. Implementing a new HR dashboard brings both opportunities and challenges. The biggest barrier is inconsistent data entry across systems such as Zanzibar JRM and Salesforce, which can lead to inaccurate reports. To remedy this, standardized data protocols and quality checks will be implemented each term. Staffing limitations also create strain, so concise data literacy training will help staff use the dashboard confidently. SHRM's 2024 and 2025 reports note that analytics adaptation depends on trust, understanding, and early visible results, so we'll highlight early wins to demonstrate value. Finally, by embedding dashboard reviews into regular meetings, RSU can cultivate a culture where data-driven decisions are the norm, reinforcing accountability and transparency. Why did it do that? Here, I present the roadmap for implementing the HR dashboard in the Department of Graduate Studies. The process begins with finalizing the data structure by aligning Zanzibar JRM, Salesforce, and institutional research fields to ensure accurate and consistent reporting. Next, we'll move into a pilot phase, focus on one metric quadrant, most likely retention, to test the dashboard's usability and verify the data flows correctly between systems. After one full term, we'll review outcomes, verify data accuracy, and refine visualizations to improve clarity and reliability. Finally, we'll complete the full rollout, expanding to all four quadrants: recruitment, retention, engagement, and enrollment within 12 months. Following the pilot, we'll conduct training and onboarding sessions to help graduate study staff interpret and present dashboard data effectively. This phased approach follows SHRM's 2024 guidance on analytics adaptation and Alonzo's 2025 model of incremental implementation. It ensures that innovation is balanced with capacity, building a sustainable data culture that supports continuous improvement and student success at RSU. This final slide brings together the main takeaways for sustaining the HR dashboard in graduate studies. Maintaining data quality will remain a top priority, ensuring accuracy and consistency across Zanzibar, Salesforce, and our institutional research. We will establish a quarterly review cycle to track progress and confirm that metrics stay aligned with the department's goals. Feedback from staff and leadership will be used to refine the dashboard, improving usability and making insights easier to act upon. Finally, regular communication with the university leadership will strengthen accountability and demonstrate the value of data-informed decision-making in student success and program outcomes. Together, these steps will help build a lasting data-driven culture that supports transparency, engagement, and continuous improvement. This concludes the implementation and sustainability plan for the Department of Graduate Studies HR dashboard. I will be happy to take questions on the pilot timeline, data quality or governance, or how we'll use the dashboard in decision making. Thank you for your time. Time to go to sleep. Anyway, that was the demo. Got pretty straight to there at the end. This is all the reference I have so far, not near enough. I need to all the mentions of formula and why we need to provide data in that context. There's probably need another 5 or 6 sources. This was super glitchy between. I'm just gonna have to smoothly read through all the notes, provide the notes. A lot of weird latency. This mic sucks. Probably gonna have to do this from work. So yeah, I'll record this with a better mic, tighten it up, more sources. Less cotton mouth pronunciation, elocution, so on and so forth. I'll tighten it up. Everybody have or good luck on your papers, and we're almost there.